Me having just finished recording an Attack on Titan video? How could you tell? Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku, and welcome to this section that I actually left out of the Weeb Wrap-up by accident. If you didn't know, a couple months back at this point, I had an event occur where all of my notes from my notes app on all of my devices got vamoosed. I call this the Great Note Deletion event of 2023, and this included my anime otaku review or Weeb Wrap-up sheet from that from the year essentially. And my Weeb Wrap-up series is my bi-monthly series, blah blah blah. It's a review series, and I, in the month of October, had reviewed the Rose of Versailles live action. I'd watched it and I'd reviewed it on that note, if not that note, a very similar note, and it's not there anymore. And I did the Weeb Wrap-up and forgot. I was even going to do a whole video concept about all the live actions that I watched, like Remember, One Piece, and the Rose of Versailles. But because all of my notes got deleted, I forgot about it until friend Mia had asked me if it was in the Weeb Wrap-up, and that's when I remembered I hadn't talked about it. So here is my review of the Rose of Versailles. I intend to keep this quite minimal because I have my thoughts on it as someone who hasn't actually read the manga yet, who hasn't actually watched the anime yet, but this is sort of an add-on to my October Weeb Wrap-up, despite the fact that it is now December. But we'll be talking about the Rose of Versailles live action, my thoughts and opinions on it, as well as what it's sort of setting myself up for the future. Also, because I lost my notes on it, I don't actually remember a whole lot of it. So, the Rose of Versailles. The Rose of Versailles is pretty much about, in movie form, the character of a woman with a man's name. This is how much I fucking remember. It's about her and how she's brought up to be a man, though she in fact is a woman and is trying to figure herself out, really, to be taken seriously, as she has been sort of forced to be a man. And this film, from memory, is just like a period piece on the French Revolution, when apparently the manga is not similar to that at all. It's got plot points from the manga, but you're condensing an entire manga down to an hour-and-a-half film that is a French film where they all speak English based on a Japanese novel. So it was pretty interesting seeing it. And since this was a French film from the 70s, there was tits. Yes, that is one of the main things I remember from this film. Generally, I actually liked the film quite decently, especially having not known the series itself. However, it's very period piecey, and like, there are some characters who you see and you don't understand, because like, they're just there, pretty much. Like, you have this character who cons her way into a wealthy life. Don't know how she's relevant to the story, other than making hell for Marie Antoinette, but even then, she doesn't. Anyone could be in that position. You have our main girl, who the story is pretty much about, and like, her pretty much like back and forth with her love interest the entire time, which it all also feels pretty misogynistic as well, but like, it was the 70s. I wouldn't put it past them for that. My basic opinions for this entire, like, film was, if you like period pieces, especially around the French Revolution, then I actually would suggest this. Because while it is based on the Rose of Versailles, there is some hiccups where, like, I had Mia watching this with me, and she was like yelling at the screen going, what? Where is this character? Why didn't they bring up this plot line? Blah, 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 blah. So I pretty much got secondhand of like, this isn't supposed to be like this. This is weird. And it ends on a pretty sad note, with our main character sort of just wandering off into a crowded area while the love interest fucking dies. And the person that they chose for the main character, she's gorgeous. I fucking love her. But like, I was a little bamboozled by this film. And I'm gonna be honest, it's one of those films where if I hadn't had someone to watch it with me, I probably would have taken a lot longer to fucking watch it. Because, again, I'm not a huge fan of period pieces. Like, I haven't watched Bridgerton or anything like that. That is not my vibe. And this feels like it'd be very Bridgerton, but, it was like, I've watched the Romeo and Juliet that was from the 70s. It is eerily similar to that, except it's just set in the French Revolution. And so, like, yeah. Also, I need to talk about the gay part. Because obviously this is the Rose of Versailles. A lot of, when it comes to the Rose of Versailles, people talk about gender and queerness and all that sort of stuff. You straight up have another woman kissing a woman in this, to break off an engagement. And I find that so fucking funny. It was fantastic. I loved that portion. And there's a whole, like, conversation to be had about the semantics of gender, about her being brought up pretty much as a man and her father denying her existence as a woman until it becomes useful to him, and like the misogyny of it all, and like not even just the misogyny of like her father to her, but also like of her love interest, which he gave me the ick a little bit. He like, ugh. At some points I'm like, why is he the love interest? He at one point forces himself onto her in terms of like kissing her, and it's so uncomfortable because she's in love with someone else, who is one of Marie Antoinette's lovers, and it's like, it's nuts, genuinely. And like, even the love interest that our main character likes, I don't like him. He's weird too. So I'm glad she gets with her best friend, who's love interest in this, but also, like, I don't like the way he treats her at all. It's so gross. But genuinely, like, with the queer bit, I really think there is ground to speak on, like, how her entire life she's taught to act like a man, to be militaristic, all that sort of stuff. And her, like, coming to the senses that she is a woman with feminine features and that she wants to be treated like a man and respected like a man despite being a woman and, like, knowing that she's a woman, and, like, it sort of messing with her a bit, I think is, like, amazing, because, like, it's a lot to, like, think about, really, as her character. It's actually quite complex for a romance movie. Like, it talks, like, there's so much that can be said, especially with, like, the queerness part about her kissing the woman to break off an engagement. I love that so much that I can't get over. Not even that, it's just also the, like, what's it called? The way that she stares at herself in a dress and how people can't recognize her in it, and recognize her as in heavy quotation marks, because they recognize her as being related to herself, but not being the same person. Also, like, I saw this on a, another review of it, there's a lot of tell don't show, and this can be backed up by Maya, by her saying, why is this plot point not here, why is this not character not here, why is this character speaking like this and this. There's a lot of tell don't show, which is funny because this is adapted from a manga. Generally, overall, if you like period pieces, you would like this. I'm not a huge fan of period pieces, but also I love the drama. I thought it was very good. It's also free on YouTube if you want to watch. And yeah, it's a standard movie. It's actually a pretty good live action for an anime adaptation, especially one from the 70s, which, like, wow. But there's just so much crammed into the film, and you sometimes don't understand what characters are what, who is who, whose name belongs to who, because their names are said like once or twice at the start of the film, and you sort of have to like guess, especially if you don't know the series whatsoever. So yeah, it's very 1970s period piece about the French Revolution, that just happens to also be very queer, gender heavy, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, this review isn't like a whole lot, but in just my thoughts and opinions on the actual film itself, from what I can fucking remember, I liked it. I did like it a lot. I liked it as like a cheesy romance that was very dramatic, and I'm the dramatic otaku, obviously. I would love it for the drama. And just as like an everyday person's sort of perspective, as someone who's interested in reading The Rose of Versailles, but because like the volumes are pretty expensive, I'm probably not gonna touch it yet because I have so many other fucking things to read. I really liked it, genuinely. I liked it. I liked it partially for making fun of it, but I also like it as like for a media analysis. The gender portion of The Rose of Versailles in the film, I think, would be very interesting to look at, and I'm actually very tempted to make a video on that in the future. One that isn't just a review, but is an actual, like, look into The Rose of Versailles and gender and being raised as the opposite gender because your father is a selfish prick, up until it is useful for him. As well as like the connection of misogyny and transness, or misogyny and queerness in general. I think that'd be really fun. But overall, I give this film a 6 out of 10. Again, period piece. Love the drama and the romance, but can be very hard to follow sometimes. So, gets a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it if you are sensitive to assault though, because it's evident in this, like, doesn't come up a lot, but when it does come up, ooh, it's very evident, and perturbing, and disturbing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or at least this review, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next day of Upload Every Day December. See you guys tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy. Bye!